What is going on, everybody? Jason the Train Freak here, or Colonel Cottonbelt now. Over here off to the side, he wanted to stay off camera, but there's the Flying Crow.
Howdy.
So he's here too, and I think we're gonna run some trains. We're gonna run in an area that I have not ran trains in yet. So Robert is gonna be the lucky person to break in all of the new track and stuff that I done at Hickory Ridge.
All right, I'm gonna break it too.
Yeah, he's gonna break it. All right, so hey Nathan Delay, what's going on, buddy? All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to flip us over, and I'm gonna add a second feed, so that way y'all can hear us around the podcast, around the layout podcast. How is it going? And Nathan, I'm doing good, and you? Hopefully y'all can hear me pretty well. If not, I'm fixing to get it to where y'all can hear us. Let's see here. Need to make one little quick change real quick. And we are going to do that right there. Perfect. Done. Alright, now I can close that out. Alright, so
now you can see me.
Now we can see Robert. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make Robert smaller, if I can figure out how to do that. There we go.
I don't blame you.
Oh, I want to flip the cameras. There we go. Actually, no, I had it right the first time. How about that? All right. Norman Rowe, what's going on? We got Mystic John here too.
Mystic John.
All right, now I've got this microphone. And so hopefully, oh, if there's an echo, let me know. Hopefully there ain't. All right, so Robert's going to sit in the control seat. Well, Robert, you should be able to talk to them as well.
And they hear me? All right.
I got to get a special call. There is an echo.
Can y'all hear me from over there? From like all the way on the other side of the room? Like I'm way over here. 3 echoes. Well, it might be fixed now because I've muted this mic.
Can you hear me?
They should be able to hear you.
Yeah, they should be able to hear me just fine.
Is there still an echo? I know there's like a slight delay. Well, Mystic is not saying there's an echo. He's saying the audio's really low. I don't know. I've been having some audio issues. Well, I mean, I see the audio gone.
How about now?
Audio gone.
Audio gone.
Okay. Let's do this. We're going to get the echo figured out. We're going to mute
That's better.
Okay. Can y'all hear me now without an echo? Let me know.
Norman said that's good.
Well, that's probably when you went through the mic.
Disney said that he barely hears me.
Okay, everybody's saying yes. Okay. So we're just going to leave that computer over there muted. And we're going to... All right.
So how does everybody hear me now?
Okay, too loud, and I can't see about the echo. And no echo. Okay, okay.
How does everybody hear me now? Is that good?
Good. Well, Robert, you're probably going to have to leave your side muted because that's where the echo's coming. So yeah, just leave your side. You can come over here now. All right, so
Sit down and comfortable.
he's comfy, so he's going to stay off camera then. All right, so I'm fixing to bring the local out. So as far as like questions and things go, we might not be able to answer them. So just FYI, I will do my best. But I've got this train right here ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and pull it on out. And as it's going behind the backdrop, we'll get this camera. I got to figure out where am I going to set it. Maybe right here. All right, Robert, what'd you do with my clipboard?
It's over there at Hickory Ridge.
It's over in Hickory Ridge. All right. I know I need to do work over here. I don't know exactly what work I need to do. Because Robert took my clipboard.
And I'll do it again.
All right. I need to get me another clipboard.
Nathan says, when you do operations, you think of what siding, stuff like that are related to what you want to do for operations. How do you plan?
Yes and no. I don't know if that's the answer to your question. You just kind of have to look at what your switches are, what's going where, and just kind of, go with it. So, like right now, I've got a clipboard with a work order here. I can kind of show it to you real quick. But it's all broken down in city. And so as I go to different areas of the layout, I just focus on that city that I'm working on. Okay. So I've got 4 pickups and I've got 6 set outs. So we're going to start with the lumber company first. Let's see, I got to pick up these 2 box cars in front of you. And then that's all I'm picking up here. And then I've got to set out some stuff. So we're going to go ahead and disconnect. Because I'm going to put all of my pickups on the front of my train.
Hey, Jason, mute that mic a bit. I'm just testing this mic. So, how is everybody hear me? Is it good and loud, or do I need to take it up some more?
Nobody is hearing me, are they? Or are they answering?
Yeah, this is what I was afraid of. Is when I got to this area here that I'm gonna have to do some digging out. You got it muted over there?
I do not. I just wanted to see if everybody could hear me, but nobody's answering.
Okay, I've got mine unmuted. I think there's an issue with the mic on my computer. It's just been going in and out. But one of the things I was afraid of is when I was burying this track, I still got to do some digging out. Um, it's it's not making good contact with the rails, and I did clean the rails. So this is all a test.
Nobody's saying anything.
Yeah, everybody's being quiet. Well, we only got 5 people watching. All right, so I've got those 2 pickups, and I think what I'm gonna go ahead and do. I can do the next industry here in a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull my whole train forward. All right, I'm gonna stop there. Let me move the camera around so that way y'all can see where I'm working at.
You want to with your iPhone camera?
You can make it the bigger one if you want to, or take that remote. Let me see that remote.
There we go.
Okay, which two do I need? 35 160, that's the middle one. And 16 799, that's the first one, so bet. So we're gonna leave the third one alone. Alright.
Steve 87.
Yay, Steve 87 piece set. What's going on? Alright. And I think the cars I've got to set out are these in the back. Alright. So let's see. Yeah, 46439 and the Ashley Joe Northern's going to go over here. And then the Mopac will go over there where that Frisco is.
Well, Steve, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but we could pour some water if you want to watch it dry.
Yeah.
He wants to watch paint dry.
Paint dry? Well, we could do resin.
Yeah.
Really? I don't know what happened there. So y'all keep in mind, this is like the first time I've done an ops on my railroad in well over a year, probably over a year and a half. All right, we got the first two cars set out. We're going to pull up a little bit, flip a switch, and I'm lined up the other way. So now, let's rotate the camera because I know y'all going to want to see where this is going to go. All right. We'll open up the grade crossing down at Wiener. Well, I hope we clear these pipes.
Very sick.
Hey, Gary.
Hi.
A little tinny. I don't know what's up with the audio issues that I'm having with both my phone and on the computer.
Mute that a second.
So, Steve, how does this sound? Can you hear me? Or is this a little tinny also? Really low, huh? How is that now? Does that sound good? William Abrahams, how you doing? Now he says it sounds better. And I'm talking directly into the mic. So with this mic, what you need to do is talk directly into it like this.
Yeah, earlier I wasn't having that problem.
Yeah. John Dilly, how's it going?
All right, I'm done over here at Wiener.
All right. So you don't need me there though, right? Or do you? Not yet. Okay. See, what's happening is Jason is going to drop off at Hickory Ridge, and I am going to switch that area. John Trains BFGR, good evening. And if I don't sound like Jason, I am not Jason. This is Robert the Flying Crow. Coming to you live from the Colonel Cotton Belt layout. Don't everyone get sick.
There we go. And we'll just leave it on that.
Sounds good. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they'd rather not watch me. Uh-oh. Yes, this is all brand new track. So now we're going to find all the flaws tonight, and you're watching it live. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's better. And if you're watching this, no, Jason really is that short. It's hard to see over the top level of his layout. I guess it depends on how many set outs you have, Jason.
Probably need to write all this stuff.
Oh, what's happening? Oh, you got a guy going the wrong way. Yeah, I know, Steve. He is. He, Steve said Jack is rolling his eyes at you for going that fast in the yard. That's right. He is on the main line, but he's trying to get those cars in the yard. So I don't know. Is that the yard or is that the main line? So
These are the main.
it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't matter, Jason, because you're still going too fast for Jack anyway. So as soon as Jason drops off and picks up there, then I can come along with the switcher and do the job at that location. That's right. That's Sparky switching speed. Stormy Sky. How's it going, Dave? Good to see you. Yeah, Derek, I showed up. Midsummer Railway in scale. How are you doing? That's okay. Chat's too hard to follow anyway. Are they?
This dude.
So, so Jason thinks that he messed up his points when he built the switches with the alignment. He thinks that they're too close to the stock rails. So uh-oh, an issue with the turnout. This is why I buy all of my turnouts because I can return them. He can't return them. He can just fix them, but he can't return them. That's true. He does not have to wait. I would have to wait for one to come in the mail. But to be fair, I couldn't even build a turnout. Cars would be flying all over the place if I built a turnout. Yeah, he probably freelanced it. That's what it was. He didn't follow the jig. You didn't follow the jig, you just freelanced.
That turned out I did.
He eyeballed it. That's it, Derek. I don't even want to try. Well, that's the most important car, the L&A car. So, Steve, I bought the Walther switches. Um, I've found them to be fairly reliable, actually. So, plus, since they were the old Shinoharas, they actually look nice as well. So, I think the micro engineering looks a little better because of the tie size, but I personally had a lot of problems with the micro engineering, and yes, John Arthur likes them, and he can make them work for some reason. I don't know why I had such problems with them. Yeah, I really like the Walther switches. They're really good. No, Derek, I don't have any curved turnouts. Um, last year when I was at Wilmer's house, he installed one of those curved turnouts, one of the Walthers ones, and he had good luck with it also. So, yep. I mean, Picos are fine, I'm sure. The only thing I don't know about Pico is I think they're double O gauge, which the rails in double O gauge, the rail is still the same distance apart, but the ties are not. Uh, so that's why I did not go and use Picos. That's, Mr. C's Railway. How y'all doing? How are you doing? But as far as I know, Picos are reliable. I've just personally never used them. And Steve, if you want to power the frogs, you can on the Walthers. There's a place to power the frogs. I don't power mine because I just have keep alives and everything, so it's not a big deal for me. Personally, I like the Walthers Flex Track better, and I tell you why. The micro engineering holds its position once you flex it. Uh, the thing is, you can't straighten it out again. At least I haven't been able to really straighten it out. It takes uh, it's just it's just a nightmare to try to straighten it out once you've curved it. So that's why I prefer the Walthers there as well. And remember, this is a personal opinion. The only thing I can say is the micro engineering I think looks a little bit better, but the I think the Walthers performs a little better. That's just that's just my opinion. So So Mr. C's Railway says, hey, I've been working on my HO scale 819 model. We found a lot of stuff that has the decals I've been looking for.
Tell him mine is in Houston, Texas. My friend, who is a professional painter, detailer.
Jason says his is in Houston, being painted and detailed professionally. Yeah, Willow Creek. That point, those switch points are just not having. Jason's not having fun with them. So, Joe Raider, how you doing? The audio is super low again, and here I've been speaking up and talking directly into the mic. Weird stuff. I'm just gonna have to talk really loud. Yep, it is. It's Flying Crow at the mic. He says he glass coated his and he's going to bring it to the Conway train show. Okay, Steve, so it's good. Yeah, that's right. Joe needs to turn up his volume. Oh, there we go. So it's Joe's fault. We'll blame it on Joe. That's an easier thing to do. Well, crank it up to 150%, Joe. Maybe you need new ears. Maybe that's the problem. So Gary, you're having a hard time hearing it too? Huh. It's his mic. Let's blame it on Heath. There you go. Yeah, that's right. Always blaming the youngsters, right? Sure. Thanks for calling me a youngster, Steve. Yeah, as long as we can blame Heath for the issue, we're good. Yeah, Jason can hear it just fine. That's right. Yeah, Joe, I did buy a couple. We went to a couple train stores. Well, and then I went to a couple today also. So, um, Hey Tim, how you doing? I bought I bought a few cars. That's mainly what I bought. I bought some people. I always need people. I we actually went to a train store in Washington, Pennsylvania, and I found some good stuff there. Most of his stuff was used, but yeah, he had a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff. So found some good stuff there. Yeah, I can't go on a trip without buying anything at a train store. You know that. Yeah, I know. The notifications seem to be real sporadic on YouTube, that's for sure. So, you ready for me yet, Jason? All right. Yeah.
But you know, you don't know that you have those issues until you.
Yeah, till you start running trains. Ken Amos. All right. Well, it's good to see you stopping by and saying hi. Yeah, Tim, I found out that sometimes you actually have to unsubscribe from somebody and then resubscribe to them and click the notification bell again. And that fixes it. I don't know why that happens, but it seems to fix the issue when you unsubscribe and resubscribe and then click the notification bell again. So you might try doing that. I know Jay. I know Joe. He has some. Jason has some issues with his mic, and I'm sure he's going to look at what the issues are and correct those. So
Yes.
yeah, I know what you mean, Tim. That's a lot for 156 channels. Yeah, I know Jack yells all the time, right, Steve? Yeah, did you hear that? So Jason got everything wired up that he needed to get wired up. So, but now, like I say, we're running it through its paces, so we'll probably find some things that are wrong. But that happens every time. So you do a layout. I don't care how careful you are. Dave, what's up, Mr. Thurber? Lynn McCurdy, how you doing? Dave, it seems like I just saw you the other day, doesn't it? Yep. See you, Ken. Hi, Debbie does in scale. How are you? I don't know. Did you get your signal squared away?
Still working on it.
He's still working on them.
Your turn.
My turn. Now I have to actually stand up and do something. All right. Pretty cool.
Okay.
Here's my clipboard, right?
Yep, you have to change the page though.
Change the page.
Yep. All right.
I'm doing this.
Uh, yep, all moves. Now it's Robert's turn. So I do not know what the issue is with the microphones. Um,
Or do you want me to? You want me to do? So I'm doing Hickory.
okay, let's see if this is any better. It doesn't look any better. So in OBS, I have my microphone turned up to 200%. I definitely know there is some issue with my mic. So, not exactly sure what the issue is. But Robert he's going to be running the switcher. You got to press 5 to start her up. Yep. And it's not as, I don't think I have that one as loud as I do that Jeep. Expect lots and lots of derails. This is actually the first time that any of this track over here in Hickory Ridge, which is the area you're looking at, um, this is the maiden voyage. So, Dave, thank you so much. Nice shot of the brewery. Yeah, I need to put a logo uh, on this side of the brewery as well. So for those who don't know, that's Budweiser. It's got a really, really nice Budweiser logo on the other side. I need to put one on this side too. So let me say hi to everyone that I have not been able to say hi to. So I'm going to scroll back in the chat just a little bit. Looks like Steve 87 PSAP's here, Gary Shanks, Joe Rader, Tim with CP368 Productions, welcome. Let's see who else. Of course, Dave, Crooked River and Eastern Railroad channel member. Joe Rader's also a channel member. Lynn McCurdy, channel member. Welcome, Lynn. And Ken Amos popped in for a little bit. Sorry I missed you, Ken. Debbie does in scale. Welcome. Glad y'all are all able to hang out with us. Willow Creek Industrial Spur. Welcome. Pete Motley. Shout out from Portland, Oregon. Well, I appreciate that, Pete. And awesome for representing Portland. Debbie does in scale. Yes. You are speaking to the one and the only train freak. That would be me. Now, Robert, did you throw the right switch? I told you I haven't tested any of this out. I wired it all up last night. Well, Pete, I'll definitely have to check your channel out and subscribe to you. Is that what I have? That don't surprise me. All right. So, like I said, I hand built all these switches, but I have not had the opportunity to test them, to see what adjustments I need to make on these, and I plan on doing that tomorrow. So, oh, Pete does not have one yet, but stay tuned. Okay. We will be looking forward to that, Pete. I highly recommend check out every channel here. And lots of good modelers. Not all of them are as crazy as I am by hand building their own turnouts. All right, so I do need to inform Robert of one thing real quick. So let me go tell him something. I will be right back. So I forgot to tell you. Anytime you pull cars out of here, they must sit over here for at least 5 minutes. Right. Remember that. Right. Remember that? Well, last time I had this as receiving, this is shipping.
Yeah.
Wait.
Okay. So those are the ones that go between.
That is true. So it's this, yeah, I can see what you're saying. Okay. That's an easy fix. It should show this one. Yeah, right. Go to the left. Now it's trying to go over to the front. Not still.
It's stuck.
Let me get back to chat.
And then
All righty. So Debbie does in scale is shod, no content, but I do have an in scale layout, small. Hey, doesn't matter what scale you're doing. We would like to see what you're doing. Lynn, he is on a step stool.
I'm just really tall.
Hey, Greg, Midsummer Railway in scale. So we'll see if he can do things. Did it die on you?
Yeah.
There it goes. All right, so it looks like he's going to go across the scale. So I'm going to try to give y'all a play-by-play of what he's doing. Are you going to get the beer car? You might have to use your finger and push it. Just nudge it with your finger. There it goes. Well, you got to get that beer car anyways, right? Don't you got to pick up the beer car? Ah. All right, so left to right on those two buttons should have been red, red. But then you also got to make sure the other button's red too, that goes beyond it. Because it's going to be lined against you. So you should have 3 red buttons, or 4. There we go. Yeah, I probably need to add some capacitors to these. All right. He's doing his first pickup. He's picking up the empty grain car. And Brad, if I haven't said hi to you, Willow Creek Industrial Spur, how's it going? Is that light on or off? I knew it would happen. So it didn't have you pick up that tank car either? You didn't have to pick up the tank car? So Robert's not used to these buttons to turn turnouts. He is all hand thrown. The triple crossovers. Yeah, them slip switches, man, they can get confusing. I'm probably going to have to solder all the rail joints too. All right, now he's going to go pick up a beer car. So who all in the chat drinks beer? I'm going to give y'all a second to answer that. Not me. It's Vice Kiss.
See what happens is they feed my top and then they kiss out here.
Ah, that's what it is. Tim says he's never drinking beer. Joe says he used to. Lynn's drinking root beer right now.
Please.
I got my engineer over here dying of thirst. Oh, Joe's drinking a rum and Coke.
Coca-Cola.
I went to the Bahamas in 2014. And if you ask for water in Freeport, Bahamas, you do not get water. They give you white rum. And if you ask for punch or juice, you get red rum. That's all they drink there is rum. Steve, 87th is saying you should have brought your thermos with you. Your thermos? I don't know. Yeah. I can make you coffee. Well, Greg, we're definitely pulling for you, buddy. You and Chuck, CP, he's, not CP, CDP 1965. He's fighting leukemia. So cancer is definitely no joke. I've lost a father-in-law due to bile duct cancer. Um, so now Joe says coffee. Now you're talking. Yeah, we'll definitely do some coffee after this. Hey, Robert, you don't have to pick them up in any specific order. You don't have to pick them up in any specific order. I'm just saying you don't have to pick them up in any specific order. Just pick them up. But you might go ahead and move those 2 cars out of Wilson Food Shipping to that cleaning track, so that way by the time you come back over there, they'll be ready to be moved to, you know, to receiving. So the area of the layout that Robert's going to is it's a little harder to see with the camera. Even harder to see with the other camera. Let me see. Not sure what I did with that remote. Might be something I have to work on tomorrow. Yeah, because I don't know why that one keeps cutting out. I can tell you why. Another thing you might do is make sure both trucks are powered. Are they both powered? Because if both trucks are powered, it should. And of course, I cleaned that with a rag. I didn't clean it with my CMX bar. Well, I set my remote down, but I don't know where I set it down at. Oh, it's right here under my throttle. That's why. All right. Hey, huge asshole is here. What's going on, you? Well, Greg, that's great to hear that you are cancer free. So, all right, Joe, be safe. They got us in a tornado watch, so good times. let's see here. So he's kind of working up on the back. Did you put both cars there or just one? Should be 2 cars. Should be a BRC and that WCLX should move there, right? I've got another switcher you could try to see if that works better. I think it's the turnouts. There is a crow loose flying around my train layout. That is very true. What's going on, Sparky? So Robert's trying to figure out what he's supposed to do next. We can zoom way in. There we go. You can barely see him moving up there against the wall. So for those that are coming in late, this is the very first time all of this track over here is being operated on. Yo! Check that out. What is... That's awesome, Hugh. So 20 lucky people are getting memberships to my channel. I don't know which 20 people. I don't know if StreamYard's not telling me the 20. I could probably pull my stream up. But for those that just got a channel membership, welcome aboard. Welcome aboard the Freak Train. And let me do this for you, Hugh. It might get a little loud. But I've actually got a railroad grade crossing bell here, so this is for Hugh. Thank you, Hugh. Looks like Steve 87th got a membership. Sparky got a membership. So that's pretty awesome. That's crazy that it didn't gift you yourself a membership. No, Sparky, I'm having mic issues. I do not know what's going on. I have not changed any settings since my test stream earlier today, and yeah, I don't know what's going on. Like, the mic is literally right up to my lips. In OB... Yeah, Robert's saying I don't know how to project. In OBS, I've actually got the mic volume set at 200%. I don't know if it's StreamYard or what. Lick it? I don't know if that thing would even taste good. Lick and stick? Oh, damn. All right. Is that any better? Let me know. All right. I'm going to hide that. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Oh. Wow, much better loud. Okay. So what I did there was damn, warn people before you get louder. All I did was enabled echo cancellation on StreamYard. And normally I have to have that off. All right, so if it's too loud, what I can do is I can turn the mic down in OBS. What? Plugging it in works? Oh, absolutely it does. All right, let me go to... All right, what about now? Gary Shanks says yes. So I turned the mic down to 150 on OBS. So let me know if it's still too loud, if it's not loud enough. So there's actually feeders on all three stub tracks. There's a feeder between the not the far turnout, but that second turnout, and then the turnout that goes to the Shack-A-Sit furniture company. Like, I've been chasing a short issue for like all week, and I finally found the short, and it happened to be a jumper wire on one of the turnouts, and I ripped out a lot of jumper wires. So I had to put in a lot of feeders because the frogs are isolated. So, I mean, just that back wall's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 jumper wires. He says it's something about the locomotive is riding up on the points, and that could very well be because I have not ran anything on this section of the layout at all. So I know there's going to have to be some adjustments and things that I'll have to whip out the soldering iron and make adjustments and whatnot. Like I've got a turnout that's just below the screen that I could pull trains through it, but if I push, it was derailing cars right and left.
Yeah, I don't understand why it's stopping there.
See, that I don't know. The feeders are fine. Someone put the frogs in the wrong place on his turnouts. Yeah, I don't understand it, Robert.
Everything's contacting the ramp.
Well, even the points are soldered in, which means they have contact.
I'm on just on a straight piece of track right now.
Unless the wheels are dirty. That's the only thing I can think of. Let's see. So, how many feeders did I put in all together on this whole area? One. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 feeders. 18 feeders. And that's not including the main lines. The main lines are on a completely separate circuit. So from the switch, the little piece of track, well, it didn't take me all day. I had to work yesterday. So this was This was after I got home and after I ate dinner. So it took me about 2.5 hours to drop feeders in and wire it all up. So and what kind of also prolongs that is I've got stuff under the layout, so I had to kind of move that stuff out of the way so I could get up under it. It's a good thing I didn't build the bottom deck first. But yeah, I will definitely be getting my NMRA track gauge and the soldering iron out tomorrow. Was your train hauling any chickens? Chicken juices make highway slick, so perhaps chicken juice is causing a problem on your layout. No, no chickens. I do have a poultry reefer car, but I don't even think I put it in JMRI yet. The sticky beer, that makes more sense. It's either the sticky beer or the what would that be? Beef tallow from the food company. Leaky LPG. Oh, Robert's going the wrong way. He must have forgot to throw a switch. And he died. Yeah, I would definitely say the sticky beer, though. Yeah, time is money, and Robert is going broke at that speed. That was Sparky.
I know.
He says he knows.
Story of my life, going broke.
Story of his life, going broke. Let's see here.
I'm switching at Jack speed.
He's switching at Jack speed, he said. Robert, you want to try this switcher instead and see if it does any better?
If you want.
All right, we're going to do a switcher swap. We're going to try something.
Dave start.
Go ahead and stop your train. Right, switch it to 1021. And you have to file something close. All right, we're going to try another switcher out, see what happens. And while he's doing that, I need to pull up the weather. Because I think we might be fixing to get a storm. It looks weak. Oh, let's see here. So if this switcher does the same thing that the other switcher does, it tells me it's something with the track and not the what you call it. Yeah, they got us under a severe. Well, we're right outside the severe thunderstorm warning polygon, so that ain't terrible. Okay. Derek said tonight you are the walking crow.
I am.
And Steve wants to know if it's a CP switcher. No, it's a SSW switcher. Robert left all his maple leafs at home.
Hey.
So you said, so as a viewer who appreciates proper model railroading, should I be reporting Robert for not ringing the bell before moving the engine? Do I send the video to the NMRA? Oh. And we don't do bells in the NMRA op session of my division. The bell gets really annoying. That it does.
All right.
There we go. Look at there. We got Dwight Curley in the house. Member for 38 months. Holy smokes, Dwight. That's a long time.
I think Dave's car has a problem.
It's very possible that CRNE car has a problem.
Yeah.
We might have to put a bad order on it. Tell the railroad it needs to go to the RIP track.
All
All right.
So, there's two cars on the cleaning track. Where do they go?
They're supposed to go into shipping. And I think you were supposed to pull those two cars out of shipping, right?
No. I looked and.
Let me see your thing.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. You're right.
It's okay.
Okay.
But see, now by the time you get back over there, you can move those two cars back into. I mean, you're just basically doing a pick and pull.
Yep. So now let me see.
I don't know if y'all can hear the baby chicks in the background, but they are cheeping. Probably because it's like past their bedtime. Yep, Sparky's hearing them chirp chirp. Mr. C's Railway, how is the layout going? Well, we did a locomotive swap. We're going to look and see if we have an issue with this. My other Baldwin VO1000. The wheels do look kind of dirty, but I think there might be some other issues on the track as well. Is it that double slip giving you issues?
Yeah.
Do you have it thrown right?
Yep. Because I backed the cars into it. So.
Gotcha. So yeah, like I said, this is the first time we're running anything on any of these turnouts. So I know a lot of these turnouts I'm gonna have to make some adjustments on. I mean, it's just part of it. But as Robert was saying earlier, see, when he's got a problem with one of his turnouts, he's got to wait for a new one to come in. All I got to do is just wait for the soldering iron to heat up. So Mr. C says, I've started working on some stuff that's Z gauge, but 00 scale. That's interesting. Z gauge, man. That's like real little. Because isn't Z gauge like 1 to 220? Yep, you got to back down like you're going to go to pass more gas. Aha, yep, 1 to 220.
We got a problem here.
What's up?
We have broken solder joint.
Do we really?
Yeah.
All right, maintenance away crew to the rescue. All right, we're going to have to shut the layout down. Because I got to use this gauge. And this file. All right, you gotta let me where you're at.
Oh, it's the one going to track 3.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think, huh? What do you guys think?
They're probably thinking that we need to get out of here so they can go to bed. It's probably what they're thinking.
Not yet.
Okay, we got solder, got track gauge.
I'm going to turn the layout off.
They'll just short out this area. You're short. Other times not as cold as the times, so I have to put like something under it. But I need some big stuff.
Celsius, right? They say that Fahrenheit is a little cool. All right, everybody. So what you're seeing is Jason repairing his switch. Look at the intense look on his face. Let's see. Artie Zero. I didn't say hi to you. How you doing?
Just popped in. All right, you're back on.
And Pete Motley. How are you? All right. So now he's done. So let me see if it'll work.
Now, see, if Robert had a broken point like that,
I'd have to wait.
he would have to wait to get a new switch in. Where I had it fixed in less than a minute. Okay, maybe 2 minutes. Yo, Artie, Awesome America Model Railroading. What's going on, buddy? Dwight, you better be careful, man. That's fighting words there. Oh, you might have to start her back up. You got a light on underneath? Is there a light under the layout? Yeah, no, you're good. All right. So I had to repair the point. Let's see what happens with me adding some solder to it does. Just remember, I'll just put it this way. Just remember that every year Christmas time rolls around, Santa always chants his favorite model train scale. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Unless he's talking about the 3 women at the club the other night. All right, moment of truth. Oh, it looks like it's working.
It does.
So, passenger trains holding up as normal since someone is holding up the main line. Well, the main line's empty. Robert's not even allowed to go on the main line.
Not without asking for track and hub.
Yep. He might have to go on the main line here, but he should be able to fit with that switcher and just 2 cars. Well, Debbie, I appreciate you coming in and hanging out with us. And we're going to try to do this more often. Maybe with not Robert, but I'm going to try to do this more often. So,
Without me?
yeah, but well, that requires you coming up more often. So, but have a great night. Take care, Debbie, and we will see you next time. Thanks for hopping in. Colonel, if your layout has tractor trailers on it, please make sure they stop 15 to 50 feet before a railroad crossing when they are hauling hazardous materials. Those are my words of wisdom. So I do have trailers, but I do not have any industries that will service those. So they're mainly just going to be mainline freights. Maybe go to the yard. But yeah, they're not going to be. They might make it to an interchange, but that would be it. Which, if you can see the locomotives behind my phone, which is the second camera, that's going to be the interchange back there. So they might make it to there, but they're not going to make it to like where Robert's switching. So the area that Robert is switching, that's actually called a marshaling yard. It is a yard between the railroad and customers. So if you're using Jam or Ops Pro, this would be in the yards. Like each of those 3 tracks are going to be yard tracks. You just don't want to report me for improper modeling. All right, Hugh, buddy. I appreciate it. You have a good night, buddy. And, keep a watchful eye on the storms tonight, man. It looks like they're fixing to hit my area. I'm hearing thunder, so. What in the world are you doing, Robert?
It's not going through this slip switch real well.
Is it not? Yeah, them slip switches, man, they are a pain in the butt. Those are actually really the slip switches, whether it's a single slip or a double slip, it is harder to build than a double crossover. So, Derek said Robert's playing checkers with the locomotive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear the thunder outside. So, just forewarning to those in the chat, if the cameras go dark and we freeze up, it's probably because we lost power. But we're going to hope that does not happen. That looks like it's lined right. Lined straight across.
Yeah. I just want to make sure.
Oh, Tim caught a lightning bolt. That's pretty cool. So what you need to do, Tim, is you need to go through every single frame and take a frame shot of where the lightning bolt hit. Oh, Steve is going to the promised land. And it looks like Lynn is saying that he might get 1/10,000th of an inch of rain with 55-mile-per-hour wind. It's not a lot of rain, Lynn. There you go, Tim. Yeah, same here. Did you record it on your phone? So what Robert's doing now is he's fixing to dump those two cars inside. Hey, JD, what's going on? Is that one having issues, Robert?
Yeah, and I know I can see why. It's the solder.
Is it the solder?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's too high up on the.
No, we got.
And the wheels are getting it.
All right. Well, we got files for that. So, Artie, this is the very first time that we're actually running trains on this area of the layout since I've hand built all these switches. So, there's going to be a lot of things to fix. So, this is not just an ops session to do an ops session, but it's a troubleshooting ops session. As far as turnouts go, there is one double slip, one single slip, two crossovers, and I believe, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let me make sure I got that count right. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 turnouts. So Robert, does it seem like that switcher's doing better than the other one did, or about the same?
Yeah, maybe a little bit better.
And of course, I don't have any of the frogs wired up either. I've been troubleshooting a short on this section of the layout all week. And after ripping out a whole bunch of jumper wires that goes from the frog rails to the stock rails, I finally found the short, and it was a jumper wire that did it. So instead of taking the turnouts out and adding jumper wires back on them, I just decided to wire in more track feeders. So next thing is going to be wiring in the frogs. And that should help some. And probably solder up all the joints too. But this area, the layout here, will actually help me with my NMRA civil engineering certificate. And speaking of certificates, I should have my volunteer one at the end, or I should have my volunteer next month, hopefully. My region AP chair has forwarded that off to the national AP chair. All right, so now Robert's taking the two cars from the cleaning track and he's going to shove those in the next section of the building, which would be the middle track. And then he'll take the last two cars and put them on track 1. And then he's got to take the 4 cars on track 2. That would be the 3, looks like 2 box cars, a reefer, and that tank car. And then he'll have to spot those at their proper industries. Which I did move those, so you can move them back. You'll have to move those on track 2 too, Robert. Track 2, you'll need to center those so you can connect to them. There you go. Well, Tim, as far as the volunteer time that I have, it's through the Boy Scouts of America. So my AP chairman, which I don't have a division AP chair, there's no way he can handle that. So what I had to do was provide a signed documentation from the people from the council that where I have been a registered merit badge counselor, and the guy who handles our merit badge university, where I did help X number of scouts over the past 2 years. Right now, I'm sitting at 67 time units, and you need 60. So, Steve, so actually, all I have to do is drive the locomotive through 3 different types of switches. So that could be the crossover, the double slip, and a turnout. And as long as all of the requirements um, is met, those are really the only have to go through 3 different type of turnouts. I don't have to go through the whole thing. So it would just the quickest would be is doing it over to Robert's left, which would be that crossover, that turnout, and that double slip, and just make the locomotive go through all parts of it. And if I can do that without having any type of derail issues on those, and they're ballasted, then plus I have to have 50 linear feet of track ballasted as well. Then I would suffice everything for that certificate. Now the one thing is a Y, a curved turnout, and a straight turnout. It all counts as a turnout. So even though it's 3 different types of turnouts, it's only one type of trackage. So Artie, I doubt that. Because the part of the requirement is you have to drive the locomotive through all points of the track. Bugger, no trains derailed on my track work yet. Is that because they saw the problems before they let the train go across it? Oh, I'm just messing with you, Artie. So, Steve, it's actually so I'm gonna go ahead and pull the link up, and I'll tell you all the requirements for the civil engineering. Now, keep in mind there is another certificate called structures, and you have to have a bridge or a trestle. That is required for that certificate. All right, let's see here. All right, so for civil, you have to have a track plan, and your track plan must include adequate terminal facilities for handling freight and or passenger cars, adequate terminal facilities for storage and service of motor power, a minimum of 1 mainline passing siding, so having a double main with crossovers count, 4 switching locations, not counting yards, interchanges, Y, or reversing loops. That's basically spurs for picking up and setting off cars. A provision for turning motive power. That could be a turntable, a Y, a reverse loop, something that actually changes the direction of the motive power, not just a loop, a track that sends it back through the scene in a different direction on another track. So a balloon loop doesn't really work. Construct and demonstrate. Okay, so that's the first thing. So the first thing's your plan, right? So it doesn't mean that you have to have it built. You just have to have it in your track plan. The second thing that you have to have is you got to construct and demonstrate satisfactory operation of a completed section of the model railroad and track work that's described in your plan. Depending on what scale you're doing, will depend on how many linear feet of track. So if you're ZN or tabletop, which is TT gauge, you need 25 linear feet. If you're HO or S scale, it's 50 feet. If you're O scale, it's 75 feet. And if you're G or F or number 1 scale, or it's 100 linear feet, and other scales in proportional relationship to HO scale with appropriate ballast draining facilities and roadbed profile, which may contain spurs, yards, etc. So it says, notice the last part is 50 feet of track, not 50 feet of main line. Any track counts. All right. And then your track work must have examples of 6 of the following features: a passing siding, which I have in front of you, a spur, I've got those all over, a crossover, which you can see one in the picture, a reversing loop, I do have the balloon loop, a Y, I don't have a Y, a simple ladder, you can see a simple ladder in front of you, compound ladder, that's going to be, well, I have a compound ladder, but it's not going to be ballasted. That's over at the staging yard. Turntable, transfer table, putting in super elevation. I do have super elevation in. Simple overhead wire, compound overhead wire, which would be your catenary. A scale track. I do have a scale track. Cog railway, don't have. Coal dump, I don't have. Ash pit, I don't have. Service pit, I don't have. Grade elevation. I don't have that either. And then the last thing you have to do is construct for merit judging scratch-built scale models of any 3 of the following and demonstrate their satisfactory operation. So turnout, whether it's straight, curved, or Y, and whether it's point or stub. That's one option. Crossover is an option. Double crossover is an option. Single slip switch, double slip switch. A crossing, otherwise known as a diamond. Gauntlet track, gauntlet turnout, dual gauge turnout, gauge separation turnout, double junction turnout, 3-way turnout, spring switch, and operating switch in an overhead wire. And then once you do all of those, you just got to do all your paperwork, and that is pretty much it. Okay, let me get back to the chat. All right. So Tim says a lot of certificates he won't get because I'm not going to build my layout to fit the criteria. Won't be able to do a double crossover anywhere on my layout. And Artie is saying, who you been talking to, Willis? Steve saying, that's done. Bridges aren't structures. Definitely not engineered that figure these things out. Artie says he needs a bigger bedroom. Steve says you can just open the window. So, yeah. But yeah, structures, they require at least a trestle or a bridge. So I do believe that bridges and trestles should have been covered under civil engineering, but they made civil lined up very close to electrical. So that way you could literally try to earn both of those at the same time, even though I earned my electrical a long time ago. that I earned my electrical at the end of 23. So, but the thing is, you don't have to have everything. You just have to have so many of those items. So for me, I'm going to have a turntable in my plan. All right, that turns my locomotives around. So I don't have to have a reverse loop and I don't have to have a Y. Now they put transfer table in there too, and I really don't know how a transfer table turns your locomotive around. Robert, looks like we got a lot of track work to do tomorrow.
Yeah, dude.
That's a lot of bridges, Artie. So if you can do the steam fuel stuff, how come they don't include diesel and sanding stations? That counts. I mean, let me go back to it. You must be talking about the track work must have examples of 6 of the following features. So a service pit would be, of course, it's track that you put in, but it's got a pit in it. Ash pit's very simple, similar to that. A coal dump track. I mean, this is all trackage. Sanding towers and, the same with like coal refilling towers, water refilling towers. Well, those are beside the track. It's not part of the track. A coal dump would be where they dump coal through the ties. So it's kind of like a trestle. A lot of your coal dumps are mostly on trestles. But basically, what they're saying is you got to have a yard. You got to have some type of engine facilities, whether it's something as like a small locomotive shed. A single track with the locomotive shed counts. It could be a 3-track diesel engine house, or it could be a 20-track roundhouse around a turntable. It doesn't matter. It just says you need somewhere to store your locomotive. So the thing that I've learned about when doing these APs and asking questions, do exactly what it says word verbatim and don't try to overthink it and make it more difficult than what it really is. But of course, you can't make it less than what it is either. What is it, Robert?
Doing something wrong with
What's up?
this. So to get into the Budweiser,
Okay, so that's a single slip. So you could not go from that track into Budweiser. You had to do it from the scale track.
no wonder it's not working.
Yep, you got to shoot across. Yep, that's a single slip, not a double. So what you're going to have to do is back down and then pull back to the scale track.
That's right. That's set correct now.
If you you should be able to. Well, I can't. It looks like you're aligned to go to Passmore. I can't really tell with the slip though. So your slip should be green.
Yeah, dark green.
Okay. Yep. You should be aligned to go straight across.
Which
So
goes to pass.
yep. So you're gonna want to cut down to Passmore. What's your other car on there?
Huh?
What's the car behind your beer car?
The cotton belt box chart.
Is that going to grain?
Um,
Is that going to the grain track?
hold on. Where is it? Why do I even have? It's not going anywhere.
You shouldn't have had it at all then. It's crazy that it let the grain track empty because it should have something at the grain track. Go ahead. You can go ahead and put it at the grain track if there's nothing there.
Okay. Yeah, I moved that one off of the grain track.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. So what you can do since you're lined up where you're at, dump your beer car off at the track for Passmore Gas,
Yeah.
and then spot your grain car, and then pick your beer car up and shoot through the slip. See, I didn't make the most simple. It's a switching puzzle, y'all. So Artie says I got the perfect place to store my engines, the built-in wardrobe. But Tim, if you got a Y, and when they're talking about a Y, they're not talking about the little track piece called a Y. They're talking about the full triangle. If you got that, then that counts for being able to turn your power around. Nope, looks like you're about to derail. You might go ahead and throw your 2 slips to red. Did you hear me, Robert?
Hold on.
They don't. It doesn't look like the one over towards the scale looks lined up. Now it looks lined up. So if they're both red, then it will slip over. If that makes sense. Brad, they can. Especially the double slips. Because the thing about a single slip is it's just 2 sets of points. So it's basically 2 turnouts overlapping each other. But a double slip, you got 2 sets of points on each side. And where one turnout would have the points open, the other turnout as the points closed. So it's like, how do you provide proper? That looks lined, Robert. So like, how do you determine when you have buttons that are just red and green, which ones do you assign to be closed, and of course the other one's going to be open. Nope, you got to derail. It's probably, and of course, like I was saying earlier, slip switches are so much harder to build than any other turnout because of the way the points act. You have to actually hinge your points, and that's where sometimes the problem comes in. Derek, yes, it does count. You just have to have a way to turn your locomotive around. That's all you have to have. And you don't even have to have it on your layout. You just got to have it in your plan. So, Robert, it had you move the WCLX cars there on track 3? It told you to move those Wilson cars on track 3?
Yeah.
That's weird.
What?
I thought it would have him move over to track 1.
No, it's just the track 3.
Okay.
It's up this track 3.
All right. Looks like Robert's fixing to head over to his locomotive track. Oh, not yet. Well, what else you got to do?
Put this on track 2.
Oh, which car is that one?
I just had it down while I was moving stuff.
Ah. Yeah, that's one of the ladies just went to panties. That's right.
I think a lot of it is solder. It's causing the wheels to lift up.
Yeah, and it could be, Robert. That very well could be. We might just have to get the little files out and file it down. He thinks a lot of the problem could be the solder. Oh, he's got to wait on. He has to wait on Randall. Nobody knows where Randall Ellison is. That's what I need to do. I need to have a van, or actually, I don't know if did they even have. Well, they had vans, but I guess maybe more of a station wagon. That would be better. So I'll have to put a station wagon over there and say that that's Randall Ellison. I do have a figure of Dave that I have been working on. Dave Thurber. Sparky sent me one of him, but the postal service like crushed it. So I don't know if I'll be able to fix that one or not. Oh, I'm hearing he's shutting his locomotive down.
Yep.
All right. Looks like Robert is done. And I'm glad we got the mic issue mostly figured out.
What was it?
It was a StreamYard setting. So, all right, guys. Well, it's getting late. It's 10:30 here, and we got quite a bit of work to do tomorrow.
We do.
So I appreciate y'all coming in, hanging out with us, watching us not just screw around on the layout, but test all these new turnouts. So with that, y'all take care. Have a great evening. Be safe out there with those having to deal with storms. And we will see y'all next time. We might be live tomorrow, so who knows? So other than that, y'all be safe out there. Happy railroading. Take care.